I can tell you
me what indices are you using?
the foreign exchange rate, the price of fuel, the price of basic foodstuff, wages, the value of wages,
Yes.
the unemployment rate, and so on. These are, I mean, I've just mentioned five,
they are key.
just to take those five.
Now, when you talked about the items, the commodities, all of that falls under inflation. Are you aware in the last 18 months, you are an educated Nigerian, and I'm happy that you took this conversation from a practical and intellectual perspective and let's engage. In the last 18 months, inflation has fallen from 18.7% to 12.5% as at today. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking, what is being raised? No, I'm
When
aware of
you
that.
are talking
What
about,
is being raised
no.
is not that.
I want us to have a real conversation
what
on
is
the economy. I'm
that's
actually
right. What is
interested
being
in that
raised?
debate.
Yes.
Now,
What is being
listen.
raised is that you can mention all the statistics,
Let me just,
but the facts on the ground.
you see, that is where we got problem.
No!
Because you want us to discuss about statistics,
That's
facts,
it.
and
The price of,
and
let
I'm
me give
giving
you an
the
example.
facts.
No, let me give you an example.
Let me rather give you an example.
No, you've just given one.
No.
So let me give you a counter
I will give you an example.
A bag of rice at the start of this administration was 7,000 naira. You know how much a bag of rice is now?
Now, you see,
Fuel was 87 naira when this government took power.
you see,
It's now 145 naira.
you see.
You say no. You said you wanted. Let me give you some stats.
No. Listen, let me say something to you.
The exchange rate was about what, 150, 160. It hit 500 naira to the dollar before now coming back to about 360, where it has stabilized in the last year or thereabouts. Now, I mentioned these. The price of, I use rice, for example, to describe foodstuff, because these are the things that go to the masses, the people you defined as going to participate in this battle. This is what goes to them. Most of the masses do not read the newspapers, so they're not interested in inflation because they don't know what that means. What they know is that whatever it is they earn cannot actually buy what it bought a while back. That's the point I'm making. That's what they see. Now, they're listening to you. You are one of their representatives. Give them an explanation why that may be true, but there is a valid explanation for it.
That is if you allow me to explain.
Yes, but
Will you?
You started.
Will you?
Let
me get your assurance.
Explain. Go ahead.
Let me get your assurance.
Please go
allow
ahead.
me.
Go ahead.
Okay, Ladi.
Yes.
You see, when you try to bring this aspect of a bag of rice, bag of gari, and the rest, of course, prices were going up and down, whatsoever you can see about that. But it's like a case of a house that gets the roof punctured. And every time when you come, rather than look at the cause of the punctured roof,
Yes.
what you are interested is in the size of what has been punctured. Now, you can go on and talk about the price of rice. It goes back to the basis. Where did it start from? When President Buhari came on board, what happened? This country relied solely on oil price, 85%, or even you can say as much as 90% of our revenue is from oil. And 5 years before Buhari came on board, oil was even hovering as high as $115. There was just so much bazaar and money everywhere. They refused to save.
Well, some of your colleagues were responsible.
Let me explain.
No, please explain. But some of your colleagues were responsible for that.
No buffer was prepared. No saving was done. Nothing was kept in place. And suddenly, oil price went down when the president came on board. And you know very well, clearly, that since oil is the major product that we export,
Yes, that we sell.
it determines
How much we earn.
how much we have in our foreign reserve, which has a direct impact on the exchange rate of our money. And so crude oil went from about 100, and suddenly when Buhari came, it just went down and collapsed to as low as 38%, deflating our foreign reserve from about 40 billion or thereabout, all the way down to some 28 or 26 billion. At some point, it went even up to about, down to about 20 billion. Now, please fear God, because sometimes when we talk, people will say, why do you call God? But ultimately, you go to church, I go to mosques. Fear God. Is it the fault of Buhari?
How about insecurity?
It is time for us to tell ourselves the truth. The issue of security in this country is in two segments. You have the preventive stage and, of course, the reactionary stage. The preventive stage is for the community to see how they can even prevent a crisis from happening. Then the reactionary is when there is crisis, you now start calling police, army, whatsoever you have, the interior ministry to come in and help the situation. The fact of the matter is that we politicians are the ones creating the whole of this crisis. This crisis takes place in community. Nobody has more military or soldiers than a politician. Now, are you telling me in the two local governments that I represent in the federal house, I don't know what is going on there? It's a lie. Any member who tells you he doesn't know what is going on in his constituency, he's telling lies. Today, if there are intruders in my local government, in any ward in my local government, I'm the first person that will know. If there are people who are piling arms, I will know. If there's a potential crisis about to happen, I will know. How many police are in my local government? Maybe you have about 100 police in my local government. As against even just in my village that we have about 5,000 or 10,000 people. Then in the two combined local governments, we are talking about hundreds of thousands of people. So we've all taken side. Politicians instigate crisis for their own gains. Community leaders instigate crisis for their own gains. Use hate and the rest. Religious leaders, what we tell ourselves in mosques, what we tell ourselves in churches. Why are we pretending about it?
I must ask you this before we end this. And that is now on a personal level. Do you want to be governor of Kano State?
Well, for now, I do not have any...
or are you going to continue in the House?
No, for now, I do not have any of such ambition. And what I keep telling people all the time is that one of the advantage of having multiple speciality when you get into politics is that you're always relaxed. I have a strong background in the academics, and I've taught in the university. I love the academics, and I still have that ambition, having attained a PhD, to be a professor. And today, if I leave politics and I go to the university, I'll be as happy as I am in politics.
Dr. Jibrin, it's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you so much, Ladi.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.